Podcasting from the Chicagoland area, this is Game On with Jackson Stuart, where we discuss men's lifestyle, focusing on sex, fitness, relationships, business, and more. We'll be interviewing the best of the best, the hot shots, and the rising stars in the worlds of modeling, fitness, cooking, and more. Influencers who are discussing keeping it sexy while at the top of their game. I'm your host, Jackson Stuart. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the game. What if you could be a better player for the cost of one more cup of coffee a month? Get access to a growing library of lit erotica, behind-the-scenes action, and player's guides with tips on drinking, cooking, fitness, dating, sex, and life after dark. Low tier rate while offer lasts. Patreon.com, Game On with Jack. Keep it sexy and game on. Good people, sexy people, welcome to another episode of Game On with Jackson Stuart. I'm your host, and as always, I want to welcome you guys to joining me this evening. Big invitation to check out Game On various platforms, youtube.com, Game On with Jack, patreon.com/Game On with Jack. The blog is ever present at gameonwithjack.blog. Check me out on Twitter at Game On with Jack, and hit up the player shop at www.gameonwithjack.shop. We've got physical items there you can check out, all of them worthwhile, and have also released some new ebooks that are on sale for 99 cents. That is a steal. Tons of tips on how to level up your game and to be the best you that you can be. So check that out. Tonight's topic, we're going to be discussing something that I think a lot of people overlook and neglect, but it is an essential household chore and also an essential step towards being the best player you can be. Let's get dirty, folks, because we're talking about the clothes make the man. 5 tips to keep your clothes clean. Yeah, well, I'm talking about laundry, dirty laundry, best kind. And it might sound like a goofy topic, but there are a lot of men who don't know how to do their own laundry. Even in 2023, I know, but it's true. You've got some guys that are newly living on their own. Some guys are newly single. Some guys are, maybe just leaving home for the first time, etc. And they think you just throw all your clothes together with some soap in a big, metal machine that puts water in there, and they think everything comes out sparkly clean. And there's nothing worse than fucking up good clothing. So that's why I wanted to do the show. That's why the show exists, why we're here, helping men level up, helping people better their lifestyle. And even if you know how to do your laundry, which I'm sure you do, I guarantee you that you're going to hear some things that are going to make you go, oh shit, Jack, I never thought about that. And that's why you're tuning in this evening. So let's hit it. Clothes make the man, 5 how-tos, plus some extra little tips and tricks here and there on how men can learn to do their own laundry and keep their clothes clean. So let's display some ideas right out the gate. Number 1, men don't do laundry. It's bullshit. That's some old antiquated crap that faded out in like the 50s or something. Men do laundry. Whether you are a husband, a father, a son, a brother, a nephew, whatever, you're doing laundry. And at the very least, you should be doing your own. At the peak of the game, maybe you're doing laundry for your whole family. Maybe you're doing laundry for, the roommate or whatever. So get that shit out your head that men don't do laundry. We do. Next displaced idea, or next idea we need to wash out. You need someone else to do your laundry. No, you are not saving up all your dirty laundry to take to your mama's house. You are not looking towards your roommate or wife or partner or spouse or husband or boyfriend to do your laundry. It's bullshit. You are an independent, self-aware entity who has a penis, who is a man who can take care of his business. And that means that nobody else has to do your laundry. Now, if somebody does your laundry for you as like, hey, I was doing a load of laundry in the house, whatever, and I grabbed your stuff, that's politeness, that's kindness, that's cool. But your ass ain't dirty because you're waiting for somebody else to do your laundry. So let's get those two ideas thrown out with the bathwater, as they used to say. Uh, Next displaced idea, we got to wash away that there is one load for everything. No, do not put all your fucking clothes together at the same time and wash them. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. Next up, you can wash clothes forever. No, eventually your clothes are going to to tear apart in the washer. You know, we've all got that favorite t-shirt, favorite sweatshirt, favorite pair of jeans, favorite khakis, whatever it is. Over time, they will fade. Over time, the process of, being washed is going to wear away at your clothing, and they are going to, be destroyed. They're going to rip, they're going to tear, they're going to fade. It's inevitable. Okay, so let's accept that. And lastly, but not least, washers and dryers do not need tender loving care. That is horribly wrong. Um, Not only is taking care of your washer and dryer important in keeping them around for a long time, but it's also a safety feature because, washers, I should say, washers can be dangerous, and we'll talk about how, but if not taken care of, dryers can catch fire. And it's not very likely, but I mean, I'm obviously not an electrician, but that is part of one of the hazards. If you look at your dryer when they talk about maintenance. So we'll jump into that all in a little bit. But first up, let's talk about gathering your supplies. So first, how-to tip on keeping your clothes clean. Get your stuff together. On one side, excuse me, get all your dirty laundry together, okay? So you're going to need like a hamper or a basket to get your dirty clothes all set. A hamper or a basket, you can go to any dollar store and buy a pretty good size one, dirt cheap. They're plastic. They usually have like a waffle design, like, with squares in it so that your nasty clothes can air out while they sit there. Um, get in the habit of, if you got a place where you throw your dirty clothes, let's say it's in the laundry room or the bottom of the closet, that's fine. Get in the habit of putting your dirty clothes in separate piles. Like these are the white clothes. These are my dark clothes. And these are my semi-darks, okay? Get in the habit of not allowing dirty clothes to sit in a pile for longer than one day. You do not want to be sloppy as hell and just kind of like, um, oh, it's no big deal. They'll just sit there for a week. No, your clothes are going to stink. They're dirty. They have been in close contact with your body and therefore are covered in your body's oil and dirt and sweat and all types of other things that are coming out of your body. So definitely, um, you know, good laundry starts with preparation before you even get your clothes into into the washing machine. So you got separate piles. You got a hamper. Awesome. Make sure you got your liquid detergent, fabric softener if you go that route, and anything else that you're going to need to clean your clothes. Usually I'm just a detergent guy. Give me detergent, give me some good dryer sheets, I'm good to go. And bleach. We'll talk about bleach in a second. Um, some people like to keep their hangers because we're grown-ups and we don't just shove everything in a drawer. You like to have your hangers in the laundry room, that's fine. Some people have their hangers, in a space where they fold their clothing and put it away, that's fine. Just make sure that you get in a habit that after you gather your supplies, you go into action. You do not want to have to do like 5 loads of laundry, every other day or every 2 days because that's exhausting. There's nothing fun about laundry and you're going to do it constantly. So, preparation is key. Hampers, like I said, they're cheap. Hit the dollar store. Detergent, now detergent can be pricey as shit depending on what you buy. If you're just moving out for the first time, talk to, talk to your mom or dad, whoever was doing laundry for you, and ask them like, what do they recommend? This is no endorsement, but Tide is a great product. There's other kind out there that might be a little bit cheaper, but just keep in mind that you don't need to buy if it's just you, or maybe just you and somebody else, you may not need to buy like the largest amount of detergent that they have at the store. You may not need to buy like the 240 load container. And a load is just a measurement for like a grouping of laundry that's going to get washed in this particular moment. Like I got to do a load of laundry. I got to do 2 loads of laundry. I got to split the clothing between 2 times when I have to go visit the washer and dump them in. So don't overdo it on the detergent. Don't go crazy. Most detergent now, you're gonna see falls in 2 categories. One is like HE, I think it's like it's like a high performance type detergent for a higher performing washers. The other is just plain old detergent. I think the old plain detergent is kind of getting phased out, but don't get too tripped about that. Detergent comes in scents. It could be like lavender, or I don't know, like lavender or spring smelling. But it puts a nice little smell to your clothes, because, your clothes are up in your ass all day and you want them to smell nice. So step 2, or the second how to, in terms of keeping your clothes clean. So sort your clothes. Now we talked about this a little bit when I mentioned, don't just throw your clothes in one giant ass pile in the laundry room or the closet and walk away, but put them in different piles, and that's called sorting. You want to separate your clothes into different piles based on color, possibly fabric type, and whether or not they need to be washed in cold or warm water. I'm a cold water guy for everything, just because I just find it just easier to, not have to worry about that. You want to read the little label on the back of your clothing to make sure that you're washing it right. Now, things like jeans or, khaki pants, like mainly just like cotton based or cotton polyester blend based clothing. Try saying that 3 times. You can get away with, cold wash, appropriate amount of detergent, and boom, you're good to go. But if we're talking delicates, like guys, we got some kick-ass dress shirts, but maybe they're made out of silk. Maybe they're made out of like Egyptian cotton. Maybe they're made out of like sateen, which is a real damn thing. Sateen is real. They kind of phased it out, but it was like a satin polyester blend, I think. And a blend is just, when clothing's made out of 2 types of materials. You can't just put cotton in a load like it's a kitchen towel or something. I'm sorry, you can't put satin in the washer like it's just a kitchen towel. So read the label, follow the label. I learned this the hard way. I had a kick-ass, like charcoal gray satin shirt. This is like my going out, getting it shirt. And one day I threw that damn thing in the washer and in the dryer, and I took it out, and it looked like it had been through the war. That shirt was just destroyed. And I was so pissed about it, but I didn't read the label. I was a knucklehead. So read the label of your delicates, because even if they're not destroyed, they could shrink. And you might think, that's not a real thing, but your clothes will be like Ant-Man. you know, you have a pair of pants that were like, the perfect size, take them out of the dryer. It looks like you can put them on a baby. Clothing, if not properly handled, the fibers can literally tighten up so much that the clothing will shrink, and it's almost impossible to get them back to normal size. So read the label. Definitely read the label to make sure that the clothing you're about to wash doesn't need to go to dry cleaners. So it's all part of sorting. Dry cleaners, they're that specialized business that has proper machines that can wash your clothing without destroying the hell out of it. So sort your clothes. Also, while we're talking about sorting your clothes, consider 3 loads: whites, darks, and lighter darks. So whites, that's going to be maybe, your underwear. I hope you're not doing tidy whities, or maybe you're doing like white boxers or something, but maybe undershirts. You wear a white undershirt sometimes. So, okay. So, white socks. You got those gym socks that you like to wear. That's one pile. Boom. That's a pile that when you hit it, you're going to throw it in the washer. You're going to wash it on cold. You're going to pick the right size, and you're going to throw bleach and detergent. Bleach, if you don't know, whitens clothing, whitens everything. Don't put bleach on your dark clothes or your colored clothes because they're going to look weird. They're going to get a big old white spot on them or fade and get destroyed. Your dark pile, well, obviously that's darker clothing. Your blacks, your browns, your dark blues, dark grays, that kind of thing. And then your kind of light or lighter dark clothing, things that like tan, beige, um, light gray, that kind of thing. So that's how you want to sort. Next up, loading the washing machine. The washing machine is your friend. I remember one time my washing machine was on the fritz and I was having a heart attack trying to coordinate my schedule with the repair guy. And I was like losing my shit. And my buddy's like, you're just mad because your washer is like a key part of your team. And he was right. Like my washing machine it's important. It's like the kick-ass member of the squad. I dump dirty clothes in it, hit a button, I walk away, boom, I come back, stuff is good. So once you've got your clothes sorted, it's time to load the washing machine up. And that's what load means. A load is a grouping of clothing. Load is when you're going to put the clothing into the washing machine. Yes, you can say I'm going to load my load if that's how you want to put it. You want to make sure you don't overload the washing machine because one, your clothes will come out wrinkled and misshapen because they're supposed to spin. When they spin, they get pushed out against the side and the excess water gets, like squeezed out with centrifugal force, I'm sorry. But also if you don't load it properly, you overload it, the spinning of your clothing will be off balance and the motor in your washing machine could burn out, and be damaged. So you'll know it because it sounds like there's some kind of like giant iron creature knocking from the inside of your washer. Your washer should sound smooth all the time, especially when it's spinning. But if you hear like boom, 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 you got too much shit in there or if it's off balance. So definitely check that out. You want to follow the recommended amount of water and the recommended amount of detergent on the packaging. So, a small load, looking at a washer, there's a button for small or a dial that you can turn to small. That's going to make sure you don't use too much water. You don't want to have a small load of clothing, but you use like a large or extra large amount of water because you're wasting water. Obviously, same for medium and same for large. Detergent, look on your detergent bottle or package. It's going to say for a small load, use, this much of the cup, the measuring cup that comes with your detergent. For a larger load, what's appropriate and so on. Read that. Don't take a small load and dump half the detergent in there and walk away because it's going to be turn like a cartoon with suds flying everywhere. If you do fabric softener, great. I personally don't do it. If you're going to wash something that you're worried about being super clean, like kitchen towels or something, you can throw in a little pine sol. I'd throw in a little pine sol when I wash things like towels and hand towels and to make sure I'm really getting a good antibacterial product or agent in the wash. If you're going to do white clothes, you're going to want to, leave a little spot for you to pour your bleach. So you're not just dumping bleach right on your white clothes because bleach can be corrosive over time. And, you want to take that into consideration. So next, how to make sure that you load the machine properly. Oh, I'm sorry. I did that step already. Did the how to. My bad. Next how to is washing and drying. Let me back up on that one. So you've got your clothes sorted. You've properly loaded the machine. And you are now going to, you gather the supplies and you sort it and you load it. And now we're going to wash and dry. Sorry about that, guys. I got my list out of order. You want to make sure you got the machine set to the proper temperature for the water. So water can be hot, medium, or cold. I wash everything in cold. It works fine for me. The correct temperature, one, can make sure that the fibers of the clothing don't constrict so bad that shit literally shrinks right in front of you, but also that you are giving longevity to the coloring of your clothing. So things that are vibrant, like you have a bright red shirt that I never wear to Target because I look like I work there. But I wash that in cold because I don't want it to fade. I want it to stay red. I don't want it to look like, orange or pink or something one day. Um, so I like to keep everything in cold. Um, as soon as you're done washing, pull your clothes out and get them into the dryer. Now, not everything is supposed to go into the dryer. I like to air dry clothing that doesn't have to be dried. Um, things I'm worried about shrinking in the dryer because the dryer is obviously full of dry heat and it's going to bombard your clothes and cook them to get the water out. That's pretty much drying. Coats. Like if I'm washing a winter jacket, first of all, if you're anything that's not, let me back up. You should look at the label of everything until you get to know your clothing. If you know these jeans can be thrown into the washer and dryer with no problem, this shirt, etc., because you read the label and you followed it, and now you remember, oh, this shirt, that's how I treat it, that's how I clean it. But like jackets, like a winter coat, especially since most jackets for the, winter and stuff made out of nylon, you want to really read the label because some things, if you throw it in the dryer, it will shrink or it will shrivel or it will tear, and you don't want to have that happen to your coats. Some things you will never put in the washer. A leather jacket, no. Um, some types of like faux leather or like shearling coats, like winter coats almost have that like country look. Be careful, read the label. Some you can throw in a washer, some you cannot. If you're gonna wash things like sheets, make sure you balance them out. That means like just don't throw them in a big clump right there at part of the washer, but spread them all the way evenly throughout the washer so that they don't rock your motor. Um, Also, you just want to make sure that you are properly reading all the instructions until you get to know how this clothing reacts to being washed. Never throw your suit in the washer. I did this once. I didn't know any better. I was really young and I was in a rush and I had to go somewhere and I needed this suit and I did not know and I threw my suit in the washer and washed it and dried it. And by some miracle, it came out okay. I told my mom about it, and my mom said, boy, you are lucky because that should have shrunk in like 18 different sizes. But it didn't. But don't ever throw a suit in the washer. Be careful with things like linen. Be careful with things like I said before, silk and other delicates. You got to be careful. Clothes that you are not going to put in the dryer, hang them up. That will decrease how wrinkled they get because as clothing dries, it wrinkles. You do not want to walk around looking wrinkled. Looking wrinkled is going to tell people that you are unprofessional, that you don't have your shit together, you're going to look disheveled, and you're also not going to look attractive whatsoever to anybody that you want to think you're attractive. You want to look clean, pressed, put together. Get an iron. And I'm going to talk about drying in a second, but yeah, you definitely get an iron, and we'll talk about that coming up. So yeah, you've washed your clothes. You're gonna put your clothes in the dryer. Excuse me. Dryer settings. There's a big range. There's actually a sensor you can just set it to, to tell it to dry until it detects that there's no more moisture, and the dryer will kick off. Then there's very dry. Then there's tumble dry. Then there's just air dry. Then there's just tumble where it's not gonna dry it, but it's just gonna move it around. Maybe you just got to get, some moisture out of it. Air drying is fine. Only problem with air drying is that some types of clothing can get stiff on you as they hang there and dry. Also with air drying, you have to consider where you're letting it hang up because it's going to drip water everywhere. And sometimes things that you let air dry can smell because there's water evaporating off of them. Most dryers will, will just, kick your clothes out smelling hot. That's why you want to use a dryer sheet. Dryer sheets can put a nice smell on your clothing and it can remove static from your clothing during the drying process. If you don't use dryer sheets, your shit's going to snap, crackle, and pop when you take it out of there. Excuse me. You're going to feel like you just licked the outlet. So, and then your clothes cling and look weird. So when you dry, use a dryer sheet. Very important. And dryer sheets are dirt ass cheap. So there's no reason not to use them. A couple other things. Babysit your washer when you're washing. Don't just turn it on and walk away because you could run into a problem where it's out of balance. And like I said, you don't want that motor to fry out. So listen to it, make sure that it's happy as it's spinning around. Dry like you should. Excuse me. Once again, read that label. Let the label tell you how to dry. Some things may say, tumble dry. Some things may say air dry. Follow what the label says. Lint traps. This goes back to that dryer maintenance I mentioned. If you don't take care of let me back up. So there's a part of your dryer called the lint trap. The lint trap's job is to catch lint that comes off your clothing and keep it from just circulating inside the inner guts of the dryer. If you don't clean your lint trap, there's always a possibility that something could overheat and that the lint could overheat and catch fire or start to smoke. Excuse me. About once a week, check your lint trap, clean all the lint out, throw it in the garbage, etc. Or if you notice that your clothes are taking more than one drying cycle to dry, check your lint trap. Because if too much lint gets in there, your clothes are going to take too much time to dry or repeated times to dry. So definitely check that out. And also when you clean your lint trap, don't have your dryer on. Make sure it's off. Pop the door open to make sure and then dry it that way. I'm not a big fan of drying while I'm not home. I don't like to leave my dryer unattended. So definitely it's another thing you want to consider. And, you've already gotten through the normal horrendous process of laundry. But hey, I'm telling you, there is nothing sexier than confidence. And part of confidence can be exuded by, I take care of my shit. I don't need anybody to wash my clothes. I can wash my own clothes. You know how to put yourself together. You're self-sufficient. Self-sufficient is akin to confidence, or in the same family of confidence, and it's a very sexy look, very sexy style. Last but not least, maybe the part that everybody really hates is folding and storing. So please, guys, do not look like these guys, these fellas, these men who walk around with wrinkled ass clothing. No, get yourself a nice iron. Get yourself a nice iron sheet. Some clothing, because of material, you do not want to apply direct iron heat to because it will scorch it. Scorching is when you basically burn your clothing and tear it apart. I have scorched too many pieces of clothing to ever do that again, especially your delicates. You lay a hot iron on a silk shirt and you have just wrecked that shirt. It'll literally cook on top of the iron. You'll look at it and go, what the fuck did I just do? So you put your clothes out of the dryer, throw them on a hanger, boom, be done with them. Or, if you got to put them in a dresser, don't just ball your clothes up and throw them in a dresser. Learn how to fold a pair of pants. Actually, you should hang out your pants and hang out your shirts. Get nice hangers. Some shirts, especially like sweaters or sweatshirts, if the hangers aren't wide enough, you get this weird puckle where the hanger is actually not meeting the seams of where the shoulders start or the sleeves start, and it's instead hanging on more like the collarbone area, and your shirt looks fucked up. White clothes, fold them nice and neat. Some people like to roll their white clothes up for conservation of space. I think that's a military thing. Cool, do you? If that works, awesome. Sock drawer. Pair those socks up, throw those damn things in the drawer and be done with them. Don't be sloppy. Don't be, unprepared. Having a nice, tight laundry system. You got your clothes hanging up right. You got your pants hanging up right. Your shirts. You got your socks in the sock drawer. You got your underwear all good. It just helps you have a nice, solid foundation to go get your day. Go get your life kicked off, okay? That's why I think it's so important that you do your laundry and be able to do it right. Also, keep a list of, hey, I'm about to run out of detergent. I'm going to run to the store and get some. You don't want to have to do laundry and not have, your supplies. I had fun on this episode. I hope you guys did too. I know it's kind of silly. You're probably thinking, Jack, what the fuck are you talking about, man? I do laundry. But you never know. I mean, there's some guys out there who this might be the first time they're doing laundry in their lives. And, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you realize that you don't want to be that guy anymore. And now you're going to start doing your laundry. It's one more aspect of life you can take control of, and you can build on that success every time you do laundry. It's like making your bed. You know, Navy SEALs say first thing in the morning when you wake up, make your bed, because that like just boom, you've gotten something done. And that getting something done mindset just helps you stack up the rest of your day in terms of getting other things done. So once again, you know, do your laundry. It's a simple task, but it's important to do it correctly. You know, protect your clothes and look good. And yeah, the clothes really do make the man. And then in turn, they help the man make the clothes. Invitations, YouTube at Game On with Jack, patreon.com/Game On with Jack, the blog, GameOnWithJack.blog, Twitter at Game On with Jack, and the brand new Player Shop. Get your ebooks, get your man necessary products, GameOnWithJack.shop, SHOP. I'll catch you guys next week. Keep it sexy and game on.